Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So welcome to the final program of this Dhul Hijjah. This was the fourth and final program, Imam Talal. And Imam tonight will be speaking about preparing for the Eid and also the sacrifice or Udhiya that is called in Arabic, inshallah. So Imam, all yours. I know there are some people who are already joined on Facebook, and we have some people here and people who continue to join. So inshallah. And thank you, Imam. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أحمده وأصلي على رسوله الكريم محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله الواحد الأحد الفرد الصمد. Praise be to Allah as He created us and provided us with many opportunities in our life to benefit from and achieve peace of mind and achieve success in our worldly life and the life hereafter. Of course, today is the day number 7 of Dhul Hijjah. And tomorrow, Thursday, is the 8th, and Friday is the 9th. So things to prepare for the Eid. Here is Friday. Friday is a day of Arafah. And those who are able to fast will be a good opportunity to fast and maybe invite each other and do a potluck iftar and a plan to be together. Some people may think that Eid is a joyful event. Well, it is a joyful event, but it does not mean that only those or certain people can enjoy the Eid. Like, for example, your loved one is not feeling well. Your a loved one departed this earthly life. You heard about the death of someone who's so close to you, and then you decided saying that, oh, I'm not going to have the joy of the Eid. This is what I meant here, that it's not like a joy in a way only those who are not or free of problems can have the joy of the Eid. This is something to commemorate. The Eid is to commemorate something and to remember certain historical events and praise Allah for having these historical events. And this is the Eid. Also, I always say that the Eid is not for the adults, really. The Eid is for children. You know, I really want you and encourage you. If you have children, prepare for them the best for the Eid, regardless whether you are having some sad events or not. You have to give the children something to remember. And also, there is something traditional. We call it the Gurbani. The Gurbani is something important. And Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, whoever has the means to do the Gurbani or to slaughter the Gurbani or the Dhabiha should do that, or let that person stay away from our musalla. Okay. It is an indication that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam emphasized the importance of this particular act. And he also says, ضحوا. He said, do the Qurbani, do the sacrifice. فَإِنَّهَا سُنَّةُ أَبِيكُمْ إِبْرَاهِيمِ, because it is a tradition that came to us from the time of Ibrahim alayhi salam. And Eid al-Adha remind us of something that took place at that time. And we all know about the story of the dream that Ibrahim alayhi salam had, and how it ended up, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided him with a sheep to slaughter instead of the original sacrifice. So it came to us like that, and Muslims have been doing many things to enjoy the festivities. I remember when I was a child, it was important, like for my parents, to take me to some carnival and some rides here and there. And the tradition of choosing a new outfit for the Eid, again, this has nothing to do whether you are having a joy event or a sad event. It has nothing to do. You still, you can dress up as it is the custom and the culture. And this is how Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he asked Muslims to wear something special on that day. Not necessarily you have to go and buy something, but at least I know you have some outfit. You keep it aside for special events. That's the special event. You can use it. But for the children, make them feel that they have something new for them during the Eid. And I understand that, that you wake up in the morning, you do the Fajr, you do the Takbir, and then you prepare yourself, you have a breakfast, prepare yourself to go to the masjid and participate in Salat al-Eid. And after the prayer is done, there is something that you may hear about the sunnah of changing your way back. Like when you go to the masjid, you choose certain road, and on the way back you change. Don't put that in mind that this is important. The idea that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam asked the Muslims to change their way back. It's just to see more people and greet them. So today you drive a car, not really necessary to do that. But if you like, you can still do it. Well, Eid also is connected with some kind of gifts exchange. Okay, so you have children, you have brother, you have parents. You want to buy them something, a nice gift, not necessarily very expensive, but something to show them. Like for your mom, if you give her a couple of roses and flowers, that will be also fine. But people do prepare some presents, and for the children, presents are important, really, because we want them. We want to show them also that this event is something very important, and then and that you are honoring them during the day of the Eid. The night of the Eid, of course, the night of the Eid is Friday night, but not necessary. You might be busy. Okay, do it Saturday night. Saturday night, bedtime story for the children. Prepare some episodes from the life of Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismail, and remember also to include mom, Hajar, the mother of Ismail, and her role also in attracting people to come and live near Al-Masjid Al-Haram, and how she started to search for water and her efforts to do that. And then the water, the water of Zamzam existed, and then people started to come and live around the masjid. So you have two roles here. You have the role of the father, you have the role of the mother. And if you reflect on both of them, you can clearly see that they complement each other. The role of Hajar complement the role of Ibrahim. The role of Ibrahim complement the role of Hajar, and then you have Ismail. So prepare these short stories about Ibrahim, Hajar, Ismail, and this story of sacrifice. Explain to the children that the idea of sacrificing a child should not be graphic, because at that time, people used to slaughter people for the love of God. So the whole thing, if you look at it, that how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Ismail, okay, stop, do not continue, and take this sheep and do the slaughtering of the sheep. So explain to children that in this way, the culture of offering people for the love of God stopped there, and it was changed into a different culture. That's the culture of sacrifice. So these things are important for the children. Now, I know the Eid is coming on Saturday, so many of us are taking Saturday off from work. Maybe some they need to go, but many of us are doing it. And then you have Sunday, which is a holiday. Take advantage of that and do some picnic things, hiking in the mountains, going to recreation area with the children, go for fishing, make some trips, and connect yourself with community members. See if any Islamic centers having gatherings on Sunday. Go there and be part of the celebration. Some people, and I think the number is growing, decorating the house. Why decorating the house is important? First, you have neighbors, and those neighbors, some of them are Christians. You see them how they decorate the house during Christmas outside, and that So your child is attracted to the story of Christmas. Now you decorate your house and attract the children of your neighbor, attract them to learn about the story of Abraham, especially that Ibrahim alayhi salam is well known in Christianity and Judaism. So it will be amazing for them to know that you are decorating your house, you are having festivity that has something to do with Ibrahim in one way or another. So decorating the house is good for the neighbor, it's good for your children also. And since you are uh, planning to give some gifts and that maybe family members, so maybe you plan something called treasure hunt in the house, where you hide the gifts somewhere and then put some different corners, some clue for the children to read, and each clue may bring them closer to where the gifts are. So treasure hunt, maybe it's something nice if you have little children and you want to have fun with them. Mom like to do baking. I really admire moms who spend time for baking, because they want their children and the husband also, and maybe their guests, to feel that they have something special on that day of the Eid. So when we do during the Eid, visiting, exchange of visits, uh, these things come in the open, this baking, and they may highlight the event of the Eid and how this Eid is important. I did mention about breakfast, but probably Sunday is the best time for that, because Saturday you wake up in the morning, really, you want to go for the Eid and this and that. If you happen that you arranged for the Gurbani yourself, this is the time on Sunday to have like light breakfast, brunch, something that use the meat of the Gurbani. And now the Gurbani, as you know, I need to mention it, how the tradition of Gurbani goes. First, you do the slaughtering. If you can do it yourself, it's fine. If not, you arrange for it. And 1/3 that you use it for your household, your family, and then 1/3 give it as a gift. I know some people feel offended if you give them meat, but if you can explain it to them, or do the alternative, which I will tell you what is the alternative. Of course, the third goes to needy people. Again, even in America here, that if, especially with COVID things, and that you give people meat, they may not feel comfortable of taking it. So the alternative for that is to calculate how much it will cost you for the Gurbani, how much it costs you. And there are many poor countries in the world, and I'm sure you know some of them. And they can benefit from the money rather than give the meat. And I'm aware also for organizations that they do this slaughtering for you, and they don't give money, they give meat. Depend on the the country that you are. So these things that keep in mind. I'm not discouraging the Udhiya or the Qurbani, but I am relating my experience with the Qurbani. And in the past, I used to have a problem, really. People bring the Udhiya, say, oh, this is Udhiya, give it to someone. And then I pile them and I don't know what to do with them here. So, but if you happen to do that, then the light breakfast can serve, the Qurbani can serve as something for the family to enjoy. And instead of giving your friends the meat as a gift, invite them to your house and you cook the meat and let them enjoy a dinner or a lunch. So indirectly you fulfilled the sunnah of the Qurbani. I want to emphasize something. The Eid is really to bring happiness to others. If you know someone who is alone, you know someone who is lonely, maybe lost his loved one, has no children, maybe you know an orphan, you know some people, certain people who are really not happy in their life. Maybe it is time during the Eid is to try to bring joy to the orphans, those who are not feeling well, and so on and so on. So in this way, really, you're not celebrating. We are commemorating the event of the Eid, and you are doing it differently at the same time. Putting a smile on the face of someone during the Eid is highly rewarded in Islam. So I pray that I managed to bring to you some ideas how to prepare for the Eid. Maybe I missed something also, but you reflect on that. We still have 3 days for the Eid. Reflect on that event and try to think of something special. And I always, tell you, give a word of thanks to the administrators of the Islamic Center of Boston in Wayland. They are doing a great job in serving the community. So you always remember this place in your dua, inshallah. And looking forward to see you soon. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Imam.
Right.
Also, so we have a few minutes. If anyone has any specific questions on any aspect that Imam covered or anything other than that, that relates to Eid or Udhiya sacrifice, this is the time. And let me see if Abrar is there. Abrar, if you like to say something.
Yeah.
Imam Talal, again, what a wonderful talk. Thank you so much for reminding us about our social responsibilities, the time of our celebration. Just a question about the sacrifice. There's a lot of, obviously, concern in the US because, it's harder to arrange a sacrifice. Some people, obviously, most people, will give money to a worthy charity. Could you say a few words about both sides? I mean, should one make extra effort to do the sacrifice. If you can't, recommendations in terms of donating the appropriate amounts would be helpful to people listening to this talk later.
I tell you, if I live in Lebanon back home, I would do the sacrifice myself, and I know very well what to do with it. But here, I did mention that you give someone, especially now at the pandemic disease and that COVID around us still, you give someone a piece of meat and tell them this is a gift for you. It may not make sense, okay? And even needy people, they may have the same thing. And from where are you gonna get them? How do you know them? Where to go? Where to do? So I do advise many people, I say, because of the circumstances, not because of anything else, because of the circumstances, that there are hunger in many places around us. Probably giving the value, even though some people may criticize me for that. Oh, I am ending the tradition. I'm not ending the tradition. This tradition will be alive, and it will be alive, and it will continue. But you think about the amount of money that you may spend, you will spend for the sacrifice, and consider giving it to someone who really deserves, who will make use of it. You think about that anyway.
Okay. Thank you. And if there's any other question, please unmute yourself and you can ask that. In the meantime, I want to shout out to Mr. Mary Lahaj. Assalamu alaikum. She's saying that, Imam, thank you for your great advice. And if there are no other questions, so let me conclude.
Actually, Brother Josh, can I ask one more question?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Imam Talal, you have such a wonderful way of explaining things to, let's say, the lay audience, someone who's new to the Islamic tradition. How would you, if you're an 18-year-old at college, how would you explain the tradition of Eid al-Adha to your friends at college in a simple way?
Oh, simple way. Okay, let's start another half an hour. Look, simple way. First, do not volunteer. Okay, do not volunteer yourself to explain. It's only if they ask you, then you are obligated really to relate what is in the Quran, what is in the Sunnah. That's enough. Well, we have in the Sunnah, the tradition of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he specifically made some instructions for the Muslims to follow and to do during that event. And remind your friend that he also has some special events or feasts according to his culture or religion or faith. So he also has something, and you have something. And then what is mentioned in the Quran about Ibrahim? Connect Ibrahim alayhi salam to Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, and emphasize the story of sacrifice, and explain that this is not a graphic. Explain that, at that time, people used to kill people as a sacrifice to God. And probably the concept of this story is to change this culture. And God doesn't need a human to be killed to be happy. And so something like that, children, gifts, okay? So these are the basic things that.
So Abrar, actually, I have a question, Vasu, for you. So I think explaining Eid al-Adha should be pretty straightforward. I mean, first of all, it is something that is Abrahamic tradition. So it exists in earlier faiths. I mean, for example, Judaism has this, and Old Testament has the story of Abraham and the sacrifice. In fact, the narration in the Quran is much simpler, and it's very positive. In this case, in fact, that Ismail alayhi salam was a willing person to go along with his father. It was not that he was being taken by force. In fact, when he was told that this is the will of God, he submitted to it. And so I think these are all positives. I'm not sure what your question meant. Was there anything specific that you were looking for?
No, I was just asking only because, you know, it's such an important interact with the world around them. You know, they're always getting asked questions about sacrifice, particularly sacrificing an animal, which may be considered in some circles inhumane the way it's done, because, you know, people never see the meat. You know, there are kids who don't know where the hamburger comes from, for example. Yeah. But I just, you know, Imam Talal is such a beautiful way of explaining. So I was just asking how to, and I think, you know, I think the discussion is very good. You know, it is our tradition. We're proud of our tradition. We're anchored in the Abrahamic faith. And I loved your discussion as well about how Ismail alayhi salam, you know,
well,
yeah, and also, I mean, just to add, so once this happened to me, I was in college actually, and somebody asked me a question. So he asked after a month or so, and Thanksgiving was coming around another month. So I did answer him very easily, because we do have a tradition of Thanksgiving also, which is kind of similar, but with a different animal. I mean, so there are traditions, but again, I think the story of sacrifice and the main emphasis, as Imam just very nicely explained to us, was to end a very gruesome tradition that was continuing before that. Number one, and number two, it did not start with Islam. This tradition of Hajj sacrifice existed before Islam. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, basically finalized it and showed us how it is to be done. So that's my explanation, but I know Imam will correct me if I made any incorrect statement.
Yeah, you are fine. It's just to know that, you know, those who call for animal rights, of course, they are not happy with us. They are not happy with anyone anyway. And you cannot please everyone. So we respect those who criticize the idea of slaughtering a sheep and this graphic and all these things. Of course, we respect them, but we have our own faith and we believe that we are doing the right thing.
Thank you, Imam Talal. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. And so before we end, just a quick announcement. So it is about Eid that Imam talked about, which is on Saturday. So we will be praying at Royal Plaza Trade Center, which is 181 Royal Plaza Drive in Marlborough. And there will be two prayers, 7:30, inshallah, Imam Talal will lead us on that. And then 10:30 a.m., which will be Dr. Muhammad Lazuni. So this is the same place we prayed last year. So if you haven't, please come prepared with masks as well as your own prayer rug. Remember that this place does not have a carpet. So it's a hard floor. So make sure that you bring a thicker prayer rug if you have, or bring a couple of those. So inshallah, we'll see you there on Eid Day. And thank you, Imam. And thank you, Abrar, and everybody who is all in this call. And just quickly, just make sure there's no question. I did see a message. Okay, so that's okay. So thank you, Mom, and
Thank you. Take care.
okay, assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.